Transfer portal, still just churning away. I know the window closed last week, but yes, we still have big names in here, and we got some names that have landed since the last time we talked. So, with a stack of the paper there, let me get you some of the latest transfer portal whispers and intel. Trey Amos, you know that name? Probably not. Maybe some of you Sunbelt fans do. Multi-year starter for Louisiana. Played in 34 games for them, a couple of years under his belt. He transferred to Alabama. So this was a coveted player. And I thought Bama was the early leader. Then I heard some other teams had emerged, and Alabama ended up pulling him. So Alabama at corner is interesting because I think Kool-Aid McKinstry is one of the best in the country. I think Terry and Arnold can be one of the best in the country. They don't have a lot of depth behind those front two. Nick Saban's been vocal about that. They got some names from prior recruiting cycles, but they don't have proven depth. Trey Amos provides them some proven depth, 6'1", 197. LSU was in this thing, A&M, Penn State, Miami. I mean, he's a multi-year starter at corner. So pretty much everyone, even if they didn't need corner help, they at least called him up and said, hey, Trey, just keep us in mind. And Nick Saban ended up landing him. So this is a big get for them, and that's even without the risk of injury this year. They needed it, but especially if one of those guys went down for Alabama, that would end up being a glaring hole on an otherwise championship contending team. I've also got to talk to you about some Colorado odds and ends, but this time it involves a player leaving Colorado, and that is Jordan Tyson. And we talked about him for a while. That is a former four-star receiver there. He led Colorado in receptions last year, or receiving yards, led him in touchdowns last year. He's a pretty good player. He had 5 touchdowns as a freshman. He's going to play for Kenny Dillingham. He's going to play for Arizona State, so he's staying out west. He's 6'2", 180, got 3 years remaining. And there were several big-time players in this one, too. Oklahoma was there, A&M was there, Auburn, TCU. And so this is a big get for Dillingham. Remember now, they also made some noise in landing Jaden Rashada. There's no guarantee he's starting for them at quarterback this year, but for those of you who are getting your names confused, Rashada was that quarterback that had the big dust-up in NIL fashion with Florida. Well, Rashada landed at Arizona State. And so now you got to get players for him to throw to if he is their starter this year. Whoever's starting out there, Jordan Tyson will probably be an integral part of their passing game. Now, as for a guy who has not landed yet, and this is a big name, I don't care how late it is in the cycle, you got to stay locked in on names like this. Keon Coleman, still don't know. Keon Coleman is a top 25 player regardless of position in the portal. He was Michigan State's leading receiver last year, big-bodied guy, 6'4", proven commodity here. Got about 60 offers so far. Can go pretty much wherever he wants to. He visited FSU last weekend. By all accounts, things went very well. He just wrapped up a visit to Ole Miss. I have not gotten any feedback on how that visit went. It sounds like he's about to visit Texas A&M as well. So let's hold off on that. And I think that what he's trying to do is, I don't think he is visiting until he finds a place he wants to go. I think he has a few places he wants to visit, and then I think he's got a date in his mind, maybe like next week or something like that, where he'll end up committing. Keon Coleman, 6'4", 215, is going to be a difference maker in whichever receiver room he lands in. And also, I haven't talked to you a lot about running backs. Logan Diggs and Alton McCaskill, those are the top 2 running backs available in the portal right now. Diggs is out of Notre Dame, 2-team race. At least that's what it looks like right now. LSU and South Carolina. And LSU, ever in need of additional help at tailback, looks to be the crystal ball favorite at the moment. And as for McCaskill, he's out of Houston. Because pretty much, well, I'm not gonna hate on Houston. I'm just saying they've lost a lot of players to the portal. He's one of them. This is a Florida-Colorado battle. As it seems right now, he is crystal ball to Colorado. So Colorado is not done adding guys, and Alton McCaskill could just be the latest. And those are a couple of tailbacks there. So that's the latest word. You may have thought to yourself, oh, he'll list a couple of names and it'll be over. No, transfer portal is still really that lit up. And even if you're not paying attention to any of those other names, Keon Coleman, stay checked in on him. Like if Florida State lands him, I talked about how many other big bodies they have in their receiver room. If A&M lands him, think about how versatile that makes their receiver room. If Ole Miss lands him, it would be a really big deal because Ole Miss had Shane Hooks and then lost him. And they landed Chris Marshall, the former 5-star from A&M, but he's already been dismissed from school. So there are two guys who big names now that it looked like we'd have at Ole Miss that all of a sudden we don't have. So they need receiver help. And Keon Coleman would be a really big get, and they've been very aggressive in the NIL front, knowing all that to try and get him. So let's just stay tuned. Portal never sleeps. Wall Street never sleeps. And as it turns out, neither does the portal.